Well, good morning, everybody, and let's get on with it. Today is day 2, I think. I don't really remember. I'm starting to try to put numbers on these because otherwise I can't remember. All right, the first thing I want to do is do my clean water routine. There's obviously nobody here, but this is just to show you guys not only my health routine, but what I found to work. That's the biggest thing, I believe. I already filled this guy up. No, I didn't. Okay. So this is to clean the water. To me, this is how health begins. This is my opinions. There is no medical advice. There's certainly not any medical claims. And this is my carbon distiller. And why is my carbon distiller important to me? It's not just about cleaning water. And by the way, that's obviously extremely important, but also cleaning all parasites, viruses, bacteria, worms, everything out of my water. So we're going to start there. As I let that fill up, I'm going to start filling up this guy because I had the water run last night, didn't I? I did. See, I remembered to turn it on. Sometimes I don't remember to turn it on the distiller, but usually I do. I like to run it at night. I believe electricity is cheaper at night too, but it really isn't that expensive. And you know what? Hate to say, I cannot put a price on clean water. I just can't. I'd probably be willing to pay a lot more than what it cost me. I mean, I think I've discovered that it costs about maybe, well, because of the rising prices in energy, thanks, Brandon, then it's probably, sorry, I didn't mean to get political there. I'm trying to stick to the health topic today. Um, it's about maybe 3 cents, 4 cents to make a gallon of the cleanest water. And that's cheaper than store-bought stuff. And you know what? It's probably cleaner for the environment because, yikes, that one's almost done, isn't it? No, it's good. Because I can't imagine all the energy that it takes to, transport um, all the water to all the stores and all these trucks, and then still it requires energy to make those too. So I don't know. That's if you really want to think about all that stuff. I mean, these days the world's already so messed up that I just do my best to not get sick and to stay healthy. So there's a little line in here that tells you when to stop for this particular model. There's different models. I've had different ones. Obviously, you guys probably know I like the American-made high-quality stuff from mypurewater.com. And if you want a discount, you can use code Uprising144K if you want. You don't have to. Kind of doesn't matter, really. Well, I mean, it helps support the channel if you want to support the channel. And now I'm going to put this guy back in the machine to make more clean water. I mean, we're talking eliminating everything. Somebody messaged me asking questions about how to clean water, and I was like, ironically, they were a health coach. I thought they would have known such things, but they thought I was more of a water expert than they were. And basically, it cleans everything. I mean, they were asking about fluoride specifically, but all of it. So they're fired up, ready to roll. This is the morning routine. So now that I'm getting my clean water going, and of course, I already got the hydrogen done. I already drank my hydrogen water. So part of my morning protocol is, and again, I'm going to do repetition with you guys. There's some of you who are new. If you're new, comment below. Tell me. Say, hey, I'm new. First time viewer. And you know what? I think I'm going to need an apron. Otherwise, I'm going to stain this shirt. So I better get that rolling. And so we start with clean water as the base. Clean water is great, but without hydrogen, I mean, it's just water. And that's cool. Water is important. But obviously the hydrogen is the part that really changes it all. So I consumed, me personally, remember, no medical advice here because this is me, my size, also my state of my kidney health, which is very good. So that's, I consume 1 liter on an empty stomach. But I always say clean your mouth first, meaning brush your teeth first, because you do grow what's called cancer-causing bacteria in your mouth when you are sleeping at night and when you wake up, So you got to clean your mouth before you drink the water if you're really trying to be healthy. Terry says, hi, Greg. Jennifer says, "Hi, Greg. I just subscribed and started watching your channel." Wow, Jennifer, you are new. Congratulations, you're part of the team. And you know what's great about it? That it's free. Isn't that awesome? I mean, I really do want to do everything for free for everybody. That is my goal. And I was hoping that my channel would grow to the point where YouTube is the one paying me, so that way you guys don't have to worry about that, because I don't want people to have to pay. I mean, if they're rich, it doesn't matter, but most people aren't rich, and most people do need good health, so why not? So, okay, I start with Purium powder. Why Purium powder? Well, one, it's extremely clean. I see the lab tests of these things, and this, the amount of pesticides, there's no pesticides. And I've seen a lot of other organic products that I've used that did test positive for pesticides, and it happens. It's not like it's almost impossible. So that's why I was so impressed by Purium. And I'm really big on purity if you're trying to heal, and hence they even have it in their name, Purium. It's about purity. They make a big effort to achieve such purity. You can find their products at ishoppurium.com. And of course, again, if you want a discount code, the discount codes are always uprising144K. This is a little chlorella I had left over. It's probably one of the rare foods in the world that if you ate almost nothing but chlorella, you'd be almost not deficient in anything. It would be pretty nutritional. The only thing is I don't think I need it anymore because the Purium is so well rounded. And I even had blood work, and this is flax seeds. I like the whole flax seed. I don't like the powders because I believe in whole foods. I've seen studies on them too, so it's not like I'm just pulling this out of a hat. I've seen the difference between certain extracts, and also when you grind them up, they lose, like in that moment, there's something. And so I want it in the moment. I want it fresh. I want it whole. That's the way that I want it. So that's the way that I do it. Doesn't mean that's the way you have to do it. That's the way that I do it. And I got some soaked walnuts and soaked raisins in clean hydrogen water. I like to soak them the night before. So part of my protocol, this is like my secret. I'm literally going to give you guys my secrets today, which I don't know if I should, but I'm going to, because I know there's people going to steal them, and oh well, people take credit, they take credit for my stuff. The point is, one of the secrets is you got to have the water in your colon and basically in your GI, in your intestines. Water is so important, and part of the secret that I've quote unquote uncovered is you just need a lot of water. So for example, I already loaded up on hydrogen water. I mean, that's the first part of the protocol, is drinking. Like I said, I did 1 liter empty stomach after you clean your mouth. You do not want to ingest those bacteria that grew in your mouth. That's why you don't want to eat anything or drink anything in the morning until you've cleaned your mouth. And when I say clean your mouth, just brush your teeth real quick for 20 seconds. But it's not just brushing your teeth. You have to brush the inner surfaces of your mouth. And what I mean by that is the roof of your mouth, your tongue, the inner lining of your cheeks. You actually have more bacteria in those areas of your mouth than your actual teeth. The interesting thing is that I found research on it. So see, remember, I go off of data. This is how I've created my protocols throughout many years. I read the data, and I find simple ways to apply it to our lives. So that way, it's easy, it's affordable, and I would maybe call it, I'd go as far as maybe calling it wisdom. You're trying to do things wisely. And I've noticed that with wisdom, the order in which you do things truly does matter. And you know what? It's going to be the same for today's smoothie. You're going to see that the order in which I put things in. But yeah, so after you clean your mouth, you drink hydrogen water, empty stomach. Now, when you pour the hydrogen water, I'm going to have to start bringing up my machine and showing you guys if you want, but I just don't think it's that complicated, to be really honest with you guys. But you want to drink it relatively quickly. I drink my glass. I have a really big glass. I think I fill it up to about here. I drink it in probably in less than 1 or 2 minutes. And then I'll pour it again. But if you can't do that, just pour what you can drink in less than 1 or 2 minutes. Now, this produce right here that I'm washing, it is organic. Of course, I always go organic when I can. And look, I know that organic isn't perfect. I know this because I've known people who work at produce companies, and of course, talking to even people who grow food. And sometimes they're near the foods, they do get sprayed, but they do test better as far as when they test them. So I mean, I go for the best. So that's another thing about my channel. People always want to try to find cheaper ways to do certain things, and that's okay. But there are certain things that you just can't cheap out on, in my opinion. And if you want to put a price on your health, that's really cool. Or maybe you just can't afford it, and I get that. And that's when you get creative. You know, you do what you can. And God knows I've been through that, so I get it. And I respect that. That when people are in situations and they just can't get everything they need, and it's tough, But you can modify. You can modify the way you do things. Like if you find, like here's one example. I've literally talked to people who say, for example, that it's too expensive to eat organic or to eat clean. But when I go to their home, and I kid you not, and I am not judging here, I'm observing and I'm trying to be helpful. I've seen these same exact people waste food. So question yourselves, do you ever waste food? And you're like, well, yeah, sometimes I toss this out, sometimes I toss that out, sometimes I don't realize that this expires. Observe your own actions, okay? And see how much you're actually wasting. So what I have to do, honestly, is I have to go to the grocery store more often because otherwise my produce will go bad. And so I'm a big stickler of not wasting food. And what I end up doing is, well, sometimes I have to buy it a little more often. But what I notice is that I save money by not being wasteful. And so what I rather do is save money by not being wasteful, really treasuring everything, like really hold it to a high standard and a high priority. And then I'll buy the good stuff. And then I don't waste it. And I actually have found, which is kind of weird, I'm actually spending, I would say, just about the same as that I always spent, you know. And I know some people can do things like, including myself, maybe not go out to dinner as much. Because I'll tell you something, when I going out to dinner, no offense to restaurants, but my goodness, and I'm not saying all of them, but the food's kind of crap. I mean, it doesn't make me feel good. And I don't know if there's GMOs in it. Maybe it's because it's not organic. Whatever the case is, So, but I know that people get stressed or they don't have time. They're like, look, I just got to go out. I get it. But, this is the best thing I can think of. Okay, soaked raisins, organic, sun-dried. And I'm going to add a little in there. Not too many, though, because I want to save some of these. Not only that, it'll be too sweet and just too much. I don't even put a cup. What is that? Is that a fourth of a cup, maybe? Maybe even less than that. All right. So, and then we're going to put walnuts. Walnuts, in my opinion, might be one of the healthiest nuts. Some people say almonds are, but walnuts, the science on walnuts, my goodness, highly, highly anti-cancerous. As a whole food, though, they've tried certain extracts from walnuts. It did not work. This is why I'm into the whole foods, because as a whole food, it's kind of like health in general. You don't just do one thing. There is no like silver bullet. You want to have, for example, clean water, but then you add hydrogen to it. And although that's amazing, the other part of my personal protocols is I like it when I get all my nutrients. So not being deficient. Why? Again, there's science. There is science to show that when you have certain deficiencies, you can literally turn disease off and on like a light bulb. I kid you not. It's the craziest thing that you can turn disease just off and on. Bring disease, fix disease. Bring disease, fix disease. One of my most favorite examples that I probably use, organic walnuts. I don't think I got enough in there, so it's too bad because these are going to be dried. Just remember, when something's dried, it pulls water out of your colon, out of your GI system. So you actually want to bring water. You get much better digestion. It stays much cleaner in there. And I like to keep my GI really, really clean. You want to prevent the colon cancers. You want to keep things moving. That's the other thing about health and life. It's not really an ancient thing, but there was an old Japanese man that once told me that was the secret to longevity. He says, you got to keep things moving. So keep moving. Go for walks. That's part of my protocol. You go for at least 30 minutes, and 30 minutes is really not enough, but that's all you've got. Ideally, 1 hour or more. And designated walking, not like I was walking, at the grocery store. Organic blueberries. Berries are, I don't know, they might be one of the most magical fruits out there, in my opinion. Blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. There's so much good data on blueberries. I believe blueberries, don't quote me on this one because I don't remember. I don't try to memorize. I just remember when something's good for me. I tend not to try to memorize every little thing about it, but I do remember some of them. And I think blueberries were linked to being good for dementia and Alzheimer's and things of that nature. Let me see here, make sure. I love Chlorella says, Truth Riser. Hello, Mr. Hope you're doing well, says Focus. Jazz says, hey, Greg, just wondering when inhaling gas, do I need to have it full of water and the white thing floating inside as well? All right, Jazz, you definitely didn't read your owner's manual, did you? And that's okay, I'll answer your question. You actually need to take the white catcher out. And the reason you take the white catcher out is because that's called a hydrogen catcher or hydrogen keeper. I don't know what the company calls it. I'm going to fill this up with hydrogen water right now while I'm answering this question. So basically, you have to remove the catcher because the catcher helps dissolve the hydrogen into the water. But if you're going to inhale gas, that's not the goal. The goal is you want the gas escaping to go into the tubing so you can inhale it. So yes, you want to fill up the pitcher all the way. Otherwise, you won't get the numbers. And then you want to remove that white catcher. So that's the way you would do it. I don't know if I want to add the chia seeds just yet. I kind of want to, but they tend to block. So remember, the order of things matters. So now I'm going to grab one of my more, I don't know, I could say it's one of my more favorite ingredients. Though I must admit, I'm not disrespecting you, ginger, but I must admit that I don't really like cutting the ginger because of the funny angles and stuff, but that's okay. Still love that I can have access to it. And you know what I can't find? Come on, it's got to be in here. Please be in here. Oh, there you are. I only got one left. Okay, I'm going to have to go get more later, but yay, we got one. Special magic ingredient. I mean, blueberries are magic ingredient, walnuts magic ingredient, but this one, I'm going to show you how we activate that in a second. This is the magic. This is one of the things that you just absolutely need if you're, a vegetarian like myself, and you need to make sure to get your nutrition. And that's probably one of the trickiest things, being quote unquote a vegetarian. But even people who aren't vegetarian are highly deficient. That's the data. In fact, I was a little surprised about the numbers, because the people who eat normal diets, I mean, they're a lot more deficient than what I realized. And people think that, eating things like meat will just fix that. It doesn't. I mean, that's the whole reason that foods are fortified. So what they do is they add certain nutrients to foods. Because let me tell you, when you start looking at each individual nutrient, which I have to try to learn what I need to put in my body, you begin to realize that there's just certain things you're just not going to get from food. Now, why? Now, some people may be like, well, why did God do that? Why didn't God put all the nutrients we need in food or whatever, Who knows what people will think? I'm just trying to come up with examples. Here's the thing. I personally believe, and I have a method to this, and but I won't go into detail. There is a way that I think I've discovered that we can grow food that the world has never seen. So literally, it's just a method that nobody's ever thought about. No organic farmer, no super agricultural, like nobody. I've never met anybody who knows this idea that I came up with. And it's crazy, right? I get these, if you guys want to know how Looney Tunes I am, people sometimes are like, how'd you come up with this? How'd you come up with that? And a lot of it's data, but some of it, well, this is almost a little embarrassing, but I mean, I guess I could keep it to myself and just say, look, I came up with it, okay? That's what I did. I came up with it. Leave it at that. The point is, one of these days, I want to work with a very wealthy person who wants to do something good for the world. I've often thought of Elon Musk's brother because he's really into the agricultural thing. And I believe this technology that I wish to develop is going to be absolutely necessary if he ever wants to do interstellar travel. But the food that I'm talking about will be so crazy bonkers nutritious, you won't need supplementation. It will do things that I personally believe was intended originally by whether people want to call it the creator, source, God, or just nature, just the way things are, and we just don't know what the heck we're doing. Whatever you want to call it, I don't know. All I know is that I want those magical nutrients in our food because of the way that they affect our body. And like I said, our bodies are designed to have specific things, much like a car or a house. You need, wheels, tires, transmission. I mean, you need every piece. And if you're missing like one thing, like, okay, I'm missing a windshield. Well, you could be driving down the road at 60 miles an hour when it's raining. I mean, you can't even see because your eyes are all getting full of water, whatever. Deficiencies are like that with the human body. They're all important and they all do things. And do I need to know what each one does? See, that's where some people get kind of geeky. They want to know every little thing. And it's like, you know what? Not this guy, not me. I don't really care. All I care about is that it's doing what it's doing. I don't need to know every little thing. I just need to know that I need it. Okay, that's just my opinion. Thanks for all the thumbs up, guys. Okay, Jazz says, I did read it. Was a bit confused. Haha. Oh, you did read, Jazz. Nice job, buddy. Sorry, I didn't mean to pick on you. What makes a lot more sense? Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Thank you for the confirming. There you go, my friend. Learned so much from you. Grateful, says True River. Oh, I like the name. Truth. Oh, no, Truth Riser. There we go. Well, Truth Riser's good too. Uprising. Uprising means something, guys. At least it means something to me. So, see, when you buy natto, this is the magic ingredient. This is the garbage. There's like sugar, there's all sorts of ingredients. So when you look at the ingredient list, it's this, it's not this, it's this. And I throw this away. Garbaccio. I don't eat that stuff. This one is just mustard. These I save because I use them for other things. Today's beans are bigger. There's a lot of different types of natto, guys. And yes, nattokinase or nattokinase is inside these, but this is the whole food. This is the magic. And when I say the magic, let me tell you something. There are numerous studies about natto. The Japanese are just bonkers over natto. And you know what? I'm kind of getting there myself. I've been eating natto for a long time. I've actually made videos about it, showing you guys how to do the natto smoothie. Why? Well, let me tell you what natto does. There's some very magical ingredients. Now, please do not type in the comments anything that could get the channel quote unquote in trouble, because I will literally just delete this video or block you. Because some people will say things that, hey, just remember we don't have free speech right now, okay, guys? And I'm not trying to be mean. Just remember. By the way, this is how you activate it. You stir it. And it's too bad that we don't have free speech. And I do wish we did, because the things that I want to say are very simple. But, things are weird right now. We live in weird times. So we can all think, I don't know, I'm not going to say who we can thank for that, but, let's just go with this for right now. So for the time being, we activate the natto. It's backed by science. They show that at least 100 times to stir it is ideal, but if you can go over 100, it's even better. You're going to see it foam up as we stir it more, and this makes the bacteria more alive. So there's a lot of good, obviously, probiotics in here. It's alive. I can really see it foaming up now. But there's a lot of good protein in this, guys. A lot of good protein. Like I said, good nutrition. Also vitamin K. Very difficult to get, but you get it in natto. What else is in here? We talked about the enzyme. Now, one of the magical parts about natto is that it acts as a natural statin. Doctors in America need to be careful if anybody's eating this stuff, because I hate to say it, they don't have a clue. And is it their fault? I don't know. I bet a lot of doctors who don't know a lot of things that I read about. I've had to prove it to them quite often. And whatever the case is, I think they're just mostly educated on drugs. So you can actually thin your blood as a statin with natto, which is actually not a bad thing. Thinning the blood is not a bad thing. This is part of my technique, actually, for my health protocols, because you have to be able to get the blood where it needs to go. And what people don't know is that we have something called ghost vessels. That is actually a medical term. Look it up. These ghost vessels are basically, it's like little blood vessels in your body. I think that should be about 100. And you have all of them when you're born, and you have blood going into them, which is a good thing. The blood brings nutrients, guys. So proper blood flow, which, by the way, hydrogen is amazing, like literally downright. I've had doctors tell me that it's just literally, it's doing the impossible. Now, nobody knows how or why it does it. Me personally, I actually think I already discovered why it does it, but who cares why it does it? The point is it does it. And hydrogen gets the blood moving. I'm licking a little bit of the natto residue here. it gets the blood moving so much, which is again crucially important. Let's grab a banana. And the blood moving is one thing that's crucial. But the second crucial part is, yeah, it's moving, but we want to make sure that it's bringing the nutrients. Because as long as it's bringing the stuff that your body wants, well, that's exactly what we're looking for. We want to give the body what it wants and what it needs. We don't want it to be deficient. Is it that simple? It's that simple. Is there data to support it? There's data to support it. Do doctors often ask you about your deficiencies? Not typically. And I do not know why, because it is so basic. I mean, I'm a dummy. You know, am I a genius for thinking of something like that? No. Preposterous. I'm no genius. What I don't understand is why doctors just don't talk about it much. It's really kind of simple. They'd rather give you a pill for a symptom. And I get it, you know. Some of them are corrupt and they get money like that. But some, they just think they're helping you like that. You know, that's I've had many friends that are doctors, and some of them really do believe in what they do. And so they really do believe, like, hey, this is how you do it, man. You just have to give this pill because this is how you fix the problem. And I've explained, I'm like, dude, you know you can fix it by doing this. And then they're like, well, it's a bunch of nonsense. Like, they don't even want to hear it. And it's like, look, bro, come on. And this is why I would, you know, one of these days, I'm going to take on a challenger. We'll do a fun show, you know, I'll be like, okay, like, I'll put my blood work up against somebody who has a different technique just to prove the point, you know. Or we can take a doctor, and we can take a couple patients, maybe even the same patient, and I'll be like, here, go ahead, do your method on him. Let's see what happens. And then we'll do my method. And that would be a very long video, probably be expensive, it'd be time consuming, and it would just be to prove otherwise what I've already proven to myself. Because I've done blood work on me, on my own methods, and well, like I shared before, literally had doctors asking me, how did you get these results? And I was like, pretty easy. Easy? What? We can't even get this with all our patients. I'm like, well, it's not super complicated, but I will tell you this. You have to change certain parts of your routine. And that's all it is. It's just a little routine changes. I'll tell you what, do I have to get up a little earlier? Yes, I do have to get up a little earlier. Oh no. You know what I just realized? I don't have any celery. Let me go see if I have some. Give me 1 second, guys. I will carry you with me in my ear because I got an earpiece so you guys can hear me. But I do like to put celery in here. It is anti-parasitic. In fact, most of the foods that I consume, including just about every ingredient in this smoothie, is anti-parasitic. The other thing you have to realize is the deficiencies. Oh no, really? Oh no, I don't have. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I guess I'm out of celery. See, I blew it, guys. I have this like excuse me. I have this like routine, and in my routine, I try to have almost like rhythm. And by the way, I've been extremely busy and had so much on my mind lately. That's probably why. Some very important things have been going on, which I will just not even go into right now. But so I get in this rhythm and routine of buying my produce because I like to keep it fresh. And apparently I blew it. No celery today, guys. So what am I going to do then? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to use up this guy. I've been kind of saving it, so let's just do this. I have a tiny bit of celery. Okay, let's see here. People are talking. Truth. Okay, Alicia says, just give the body what it needs and the body will do the work. See, that's how simple it is. What is it, please? Natto? Natto. Thanks. Natto. You can purchase it at Asian market. Fermented soybeans. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Soybeans are straight up magical. People have talked a lot of trash because they didn't really understand it. And the beautiful part about the newest data, because there is new data coming out about it, because people were so confused, they kept thinking it was bad. And the latest data actually, what it revealed, which is what this is the whole reason I love data to learn, it actually revealed something about the body that we didn't actually know prior. And so we have different receptors for estrogen, that when you eat something that's food, rather than if you just give yourself like a hormone shot or a pill or something. And so it reacts differently with soy. And who consumes more soy than anybody in the world, by the way? Do you guys know? Do you know? Do you know? The Japanese. And they have the longest life expectancy of any industrialized nation in the world. And I've seen the people there. Now look, they have a lot of garbage food these days. Western civilization is, affecting them. I don't want to say infecting them, maybe affecting them. And it's a little disappointing. I've seen some of the stuff that I'm like, oh my goodness, they sell this. And I hate to see the children starting to go down that path, because the old school food is much better. I'm going to eat, when I go to Japan, I'm going to eat a lot of the old school food. I already kind of do, but I'm going to do more. I'm going to do it over there. And it's going to be difficult for me to probably get all my supplements over there and everything that I need. But that's okay, because I'm only going to go there a certain amount of time, and then I should be able to keep my nutrition up pretty well. And I will bring some things with me. There are certain things that I just got to have them. They're just part of my life if I want to maintain my health. And I do. I do not want to suffer anymore. My God, I know that someday I will again, because we age, and that's typically what happens. Nobody lives forever. Just hope that I have one of those very peaceful, quiet deaths. Just go to sleep, and that's the end of that. But what I don't want to do is suffer, and I'm going to prevent it, because I've seen too much. Not only have I experienced a lot of it, I've seen it with people who I care about, who don't want to change their lives, by the way, because there are things that in my opinion, this is not medical advice or medical claim, but in my opinion, it's fixable. But people create their habits, and they just don't want to change. And I understand. It's like an addiction, really. And it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, as they say. And see, I actually try to preserve these bags if they don't have any holes in them, because I'm going to go buy celery today, and I'm going to probably put it in one of these bags, so I'll save that. As silly as that is, like, dude, you're saving plastic bags. Yeah, okay, I'm a weirdo. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? All right, let's go with soaked chia seeds. Why? All sorts of nutrients, protein, calcium, minerals, all sorts of good stuff. And I like to soak them, because otherwise they pool water from my GI. This way they actually hydrate me. They bring water to my GI. Of course, I like to use the cleanest water. And I also like to use hydrogen, but you don't have to use hydrogen if you don't want. No big deal. And there's a few still more magic ingredients. Now, carrots. Jump Doc. I like carrots because, well, for one, they're very cheap. You can get a whole bag of organic carrots. I think price went up recently, but I think now it's like $5.99. Call it $6. Now, is that expensive for a 5-pound bag of carrots? Let me tell you something. I'm grateful, because this is a lot of carrots. These are a lot of carrots. So I'm grateful for that. But they do have all sorts of magical properties, also, like a lot of foods do. And that's why I chose them. I just choose stuff that I can afford, that is also local. I like to get food that I can have access to. Probably one of the most difficult things for people to get access to, and I'm just lucky, is the natto. A lot of people are having a hard time finding that. I'll tell you one thing, I don't think I started a trend or anything, but man, when I try to go buy it these days, it is empty at the stores to get natto. They're gonna have to increase their production. I think natto stock's gonna go up. If there's any natto stock, somebody invest in it. I'm not much of an investor. I don't like that stuff, but some people do. Me, I like peace. Peace is my favorite thing. I like to be at peace. I like to be in love. I like to be healthy and happy. And I love to soak in hot springs. Or a sauna. Saunas are nice. I love saunas. Get a good sweat. Those type of things. Something pretty simple. I think somebody once asked me, are those special scissors? I don't know why I like the scissors. I think somebody else tried them before and been like, dude, I couldn't do it. Couldn't do what you're doing. It's like, that's okay. Don't have to do it how I do it. This is just how I do it. That's all. And I find it better for me. I mean, I could have a knife, I could have a cutting board, then I could have a peeler, and I could do that. But I don't know. Funny thing is, I feel like I get closer to hurting myself when I use a peeler. I just like the scissors, and I don't sharpen them very often. They are KitchenAid scissors. I don't know if that makes a difference. Somebody wanted to know, but there are certain scissors that work better than others, at least for my hands. These ones I had to go specifically online and look for these ones. They're not expensive. Most of what I do is not expensive. I'm not a big spender. Like, oh, I want to buy the super fancy watch and the super fancy wheels for my truck and a super fancy car. Oh my gosh, you guys would probably laugh at me if you saw my vehicle. In fact, I think there was this guy yesterday who was laughing at my vehicle. I probably should do something about it. Maybe I should just, because, I probably need to be a little more presentable. I mean, it's clean and everything. It's just old. And that's just because I'm a silly guy. I have a hard time spending money on things that are just not like necessary. Health is necessary. Car, point A, point B, as long as it's reliable. And I am a car guy, by the way. I used to absolutely be bonkers over cars. And I still like them. They took a back seat once I had certain realizations in my life, especially about health. Like, who cares about my car? Because, yeah, I used to own some pretty cool classic cars, some pretty cool sports cars, back in the day. And things have certainly changed. Now it's just about comfort and convenience and, dare I say, a little reliability. I used to take days off from work just to go driving. I was kind of a Porsche guy, like Porsches, classic ones. But none of that matters. The important part is, guys, just, be healthy, be happy. Those are really way more important than something like that. But, it's fun, right? While it lasted or whatever. Of course, I think I talked to you guys about being into race car driving and stuff like that. But look, these carrots, let's get back into the health topic here. Unless there's something you guys want to talk about. But these carrots, again, super, super affordable. Very cheap. And because I've had people tell me, like, man, that smoothie's so expensive, I have to go buy all these ingredients. And it's like, is it? I mean, is it? I think I've calculated it. I don't know how expensive it is. I mean, I could go down the list of what I pay for everything if you guys want me to do that. But I mean, I can afford it. I don't know how much I spend on them though, really. I mean, if I were to just throw a wild guess, it'd be tough to say that each smoothie costs $10, because if it was $10 for every smoothie, now when I say every smoothie, this whole thing here, because this is $10 and this definitely gets me through breakfast and lunch. I don't know if it'd get me through dinner, but this is also my multivitamin. So you have to understand, this is more than just food. This is my multivitamin. This is also my, make sure I don't have any deficiencies. I mean, this is what this is. And it's my food. It's a lot of things in one. Now, let's just say it costs $10. I would almost think that it costs more, but I'm just going to guess 10 every day. So that's 7. That's what? $70 a week, $140, $280 a month. Now, some people may be like, oh my goodness, 280. Let's round it up. Let's say $300 a month. Holy crap, $300 a month. Well, how much do you spend on food in general? I don't know. I know that I'm missing something today. Gosh dang it, I'm missing my celery. It's going to taste a little different today because of that. Here's my last banana. Maybe I need to go buy bananas too. I don't need to throw 2 bananas, to be honest. And I don't need to do 2 bananas with raisins. It's going to make it sweeter. But I will say this. My palate is different than most people's because of everything I've done for my health. And your palate is connected to your GI system, so your microflora, the way your gut, the health of your gut. And a lot of things have changed in my palate since I've changed the way that I eat and become much healthier. What I will say is, let's finish this up, and we're going to bring a few more magic ingredients that are crucially important. So I'm going to go ahead and put those very soon, but let's fill up a little bit more clean water or hydrogen water if you have access to it. And yeah, okay, so you're like, geez, man, $300 a month. Well, yeah, that covers my breakfast and lunch. and all my multi-nutrients that I need. I don't know. Seems worth it. And I oftentimes actually share this smoothie, so maybe I could probably do it cheaper. Yeah, I could do it cheaper. I think that's just about covering 2 people, maybe a person and a half. I don't know. Okay, let's blend this up. Let's put magic ingredient number 1. Let's go with minerals. Why minerals? Okay, our food is deficient in minerals. Remember I told you I like whole foods. So because they're deficient in minerals, then I add them to, and they synergistically work with all the fibers, all the enzymes, everything that is in these fruits and vegetables. So I add more minerals to mine. Is there any data to support it? Actually, there is. And it shows it works beautifully, guys. It just works beautifully. So let's fire this up and let's make some noise. Look at it go. It's dancing. Hope it doesn't dance right off the counter. Oh no. Uh-oh, what did I do? Okay. And sometimes I like to stop, let things settle a little bit. So sometimes you get stuck. I'm going to take out the compost. Hope that blender doesn't fall while I'm taking it out. Sounds like it's doing a good job. Wow, you can see my compost bucket. Beautiful. I got to toss that out though. It's really cool. Yeah. All right. That still sounds like it's stuck. Let's keep going. Now, what else can we do? Give you some more secrets. I got a few more secrets here about to add. Okay, one more time. Now we're going to take 2 jars and add a little bit of clean hydrogen water. I like to cut my smoothie with just more water. If you're noticing a pattern yet, everything is about bringing some hydrogen and more minerals and a lot of fluids. Okay, let's see here. One more time, and then we'll add the magic ingredients. Whoa, there's something in there getting cut up. I can feel it. All right, here's the next magic ingredient. I think it's good, but you can always tell once you start pouring if there's chunks coming out, it ain't quite ready. So hope this thing doesn't explode in my face. Sometimes it does. Perfect. Okay, now you want to pour just half. Ooh, it looks good. It actually looks pretty good. We're only going to pour half. And you say, why half? I'll show you why half. It's a secret. It's because then I don't need to stir it. Later, I'll show you why. I'm going to add, wow. Okay, tastes great. No celery needed. Okay, what's the first one? Ionic zinc. Why ionic? I like ionic. Ionic is better, in my opinion. We're going to do 1 pump. I'm only going to do 2 because I get plenty of zinc in my diet, but I also get plenty of zinc from my Purium powder. That's why I like the powder. It's not just normal. It's all food, and that's what I want. I want all food. I don't want a synthetic multivitamin, blah, blah, blah. Next one, ionic. Again, D3 with K2. It's the best way to do it. I know everybody has their opinions. These are mine. And actually, I go off data, so that's my opinion on that one. D3 is the one that I can't live without, guys, forever. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is equivalent to about 5,000 I use. And I like it paired with everything like this. And like I said, I just can't live without D3. It's one of the hardest nutrients to get from your food. And just good luck getting it from your food. Next one, boron. Ionic. Boron's good for ligaments, bones, brain health. Remember, dementia, Alzheimer's, think about things. No medical claims, by the way. And for your sex hormones. So it's good for your testosterone for men. It's good for your estrogen. And let's see how much we can put because we're almost out. 1 ml, 1 ml. I'm going to save it. I usually like to put 1.5, but I'm pretty much almost out, and I want to get more. Do I have more? Do I have more? No, I don't have more. That's too bad. Okay, this is why I only filled them up halfway, because now as I fill it, I'm stirring it. Go on and stir it up. Anybody know where that's from? Little darling, stir it up. It's a song. Probably don't know who wrote it. I know one guy in here knows. He's always guessing right. Little darling. Okay. I'm a terrible singer. All right, next magic ingredient. For one of these, I want to seal the nutrients in. So what do? Get my handy dandy sealer. And let's hope it works the first time. Because once in a while, it doesn't, and then I get very disappointed. And let's seal it. I like to push down on it. I don't think you have to. I don't think it makes any difference, but it's what I do. Just for whatever reason. It sounds different when I do that. Hoping it's sealing better. Okay. Now, last magic ingredient. Actually, 2 magic ingredients coming up, and then we're done. Then you guys can actually see the final product. Excuse me as I'm going to blow my nose. I have a theory about hydrogen. I guess I won't go into it, but it does make me, when I drink in the mornings, it gets certain things moving, and it makes me want to blow my nose. I can feel it, and in a good way. Clear out the nasal passages. What's the last magic ingredient? Anybody? People who know the channel probably know. You should see my fridge. One of these days, maybe I will show you what's in my fridge. You guys will be like, what? Hemp, not marijuana. Hemp hearts. Why hemp hearts? Most well-balanced omega-3s and 6s in the world. Lots of protein. People are always saying, do you get enough protein, Hydrogen Man? Yeah, because I know how to eat properly. And being a vegetarian, you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, it can be a problem. I've met many what I call garbage vegetarians. That's not my term. Somebody used that term. And actually, I agree with it. It's a very good term to describe. You know, I've known people who just live off of like granola bars, and they go to Whole Foods and they think that's healthy because they're Whole Foods, but I've seen the things they buy. And there's a lot of processed foods that's vegetarian, and it doesn't mean that it's good. And you can eat non-vegetarian and be healthy too. So come on, please work. Yay, it worked. Awesome. Woohoo. It's a good day, guys. I'm hoping. Please hope. Pray. Today will be a good day. I need some good news today. Nice and sealed. Now, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. Shall I? I shall behave. I'll behave. You guys know what movie that's from, right? All right. I think we're all done here. Now I'm going to show you the last magic ingredient that makes it all just absolutely magical, because this is already magical. Show you the last one. Let's put this away. Let's have a seat at my gourmet table. Now, you know what I'm going to do? Plug in this phone because it tends to want to use a lot of power when I'm live with you guys. And I'm going to try to adjust it and maybe read some of your comments and questions, and then I'm going to roll to work. Shall I? I shall. Okay, what's the last magic ingredient? Hydrogen. Somebody commented the other day, they're like, oh yeah, you're so healthy that you have to inhale oxygen. I was like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm doing inhaling hydrogen, and not because I got a health problem, because it's healthy for me. It's kind of like, oh, you need an IV? Well, IVs can hydrate you. Nothing wrong with that. But I'll just drink my water. Thank you very much, and stay hydrated, which I oftentimes do. And why do I inhale hydrogen while I drink my smoothie? We'll get into that, but let me answer some of your questions. Take off my apron. Maybe I should keep it on. I'll probably end up staining my shirt. Just watch. Sometimes I probably should keep it on, but let me try my magic ingredients here. Yep, came out good today. I can see that I missed my celery, but not so bad. All right, let's see how many comments are in here. I was listening to this little song called Cute Little Poppies. Cute little poppies. Have you guys ever heard that song? Oh, how I love those cute little poppies. It got it stuck in my head. I think it's a kid's song, but it's kind of cute. Silly. Mm, I'm a silly guy. Okay. Janice says, I am praying to work with you and your plan to grow food in a new way. Oh, okay. That'd be awesome. I'll give you all my secrets. Mommy's Life says, hopefully you can video a lot when you're in Japan. We would love that. Yeah, I'll do it. Mm, I'll try to do it. I don't like to guarantee. You never know. But I will try. Truth Riser says, shout out to all the carrots. We are grateful. Well, I am grateful for the food that our beautiful earth brings us. I'm going to sound like a hippie, but you know what? Call it whatever you want to call it. The fact that I have respect for things, I'm happy with it. If you want to judge me for it, whatever. It's all about my happiness. Me improving me makes the world a better place. That's my view. Okay. Mommy's Life says, we just planted 5,000 carrots. Oh my gosh. That is one of the things we absolutely love, and beets. And I think that's awesome. But I will say, beets and carrots are cheap. I think I would plant things that are expensive. But if you enjoy it, that's the most important part too. But actually, yours probably going to be better than the store-bought ones. Mm, I love carrots and beets too, though. Truth Riser, hot springs in Japan would be beautiful, brother. That's what I'm going after. Believe it or not, guys, in my life, I follow whatever's best for my health. I'm going to follow the water, and I'm going to follow the air. You know what's ironic about that comment is that this is getting weird because I'm not, just understand this is not religion, but that's not why I'm bringing it up. But there's a verse in the Bible, one of the number one verses in all of Scripture, when Nicodemus spoke to Jesus. And he asked him basically, hey, what's the way, Jesus? And he did not say, I'm the way, I'm the truth. That's not what he told Nicodemus. He said, you must be born again of water and spirit. But spirit, when translated from the original Scripture, also means wind. So air. So water and air. And you know what? That's what I follow just because it's very, very good for your health. And I just want peace and health, guys. Peace, health, and happiness. That's what I'm looking for. Probably sharing too much about myself there, but anyway, that's me. Some people might be like, dude, we don't care what your opinions are. Just tell us how to be healthy. Give me your secrets. Okay, Alicia Gonzalez says, I love how every culture has its own traditional foods that mostly consist on some form of fermentation, sprouting, activation to get the most out of them. I agree with you, Alicia. I concur. Bulky Pug. Oh boy. I love the name already. Oh, peace, you said. I thought you said pizza. Peace is good too. I love pizza, brother. I haven't had it for a long time. I was a cheese monster, just so you know. It's probably why my colon was all clogged up. Maybe couldn't absorb nutrients. I don't know, but I absolutely love cheese. Still do. I just don't. You know what? I'm going to remove this earpiece. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. All right. Let's see if you can still hear me. But yes, let's see. Truth Riser, I'm outside absorbing that sunshine. You go. Boy or girl, I don't know what you are, but I am saving for a hydrogen machine. Yeah, they are pretty awesome. Should I buy the water purifier first? It depends on what kind of water you have access to. Terry C, smoothies look like chocolate today. They do look like chocolate today. Oh. I used to put raw cacao. Sometimes I still do if I see it at the store. But I go off and on with the raw cacao. But it's good for you. I'm enjoying it. Okay, Truth Writer says, I use Purium. It's great. It is great. I'm grateful that somebody's creating that product. I know it's a little more expensive than other ones, but I'm not going to put a price on my health unless it's like, $10 million and I don't have it. Truth Writer says, Bob Marley. Yeah, you got it. Somebody guessed it right. Bob Marley. Go Marley. Love that guy. All right. Truth Writer says, you have a great voice, brother. Keep sending out those goodbyes. Thanks. I know I don't, but thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Terry C says, ham parts. Yep, she guessed it right too. Cecilia Winter says, let me make up a voice for Cecilia. Recently, I have seen videos about a class action lawsuit against Berkey water filter. Are the black filters okay to use, or should we move on from Berkey? Well, Cecilia, I believe the reason that they're going through the lawsuit, now don't quote me on this, has to do with their fluoride filters. They were literally poisoning the water instead of actually cleaning the stuff out of it. But I'm probably more into, I mean, a Berkey will do a certain level of work. I believe the black filters do help because I saw some of the data on it actually. And I'm not like totally against them, but if you want the cleanest water, there is no substitute. There's only one way to clean it, and that is through carbon distillation. That's it. No carbon filter, no gravity filters, no reverse osmosis. I mean, reverse osmosis cleans the water really good, but if you want perfect water, remember, I'm a little bit, I want things perfect. So that's my problem. I want things the best. Doesn't mean that you have to do that. That's what I do. And well, look, I can even show it to you. You can see it going to work right there for me. It's literally making my water for me. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's pretty quiet. And you can find those at mypurewater.com. There is a discount code, which is Uprising144K. Their cheapest one, which is still American made, really good, with the discount code is like 500 and something bucks. I think it's worth it. Yeah. And for the guy, somebody was asking about should they get the clean water or the hydrogen first? Before you decide to buy them, just contact me, email me, and I'll see what I can do to try to help with the price to maybe you can actually potentially get both. So I'll see what I can do. These companies actually tend to love me. So sometimes I can get little special favors for my friends. Okay. Only for the 28 in here. Bulky Pug says, Berkey was so yesterday. Distillers are where it's at. And I agree with you, Bulky. I mean, look, that's just if you want the best. Does that mean I have a Berkey? I still have a Berkey. Do I use it? No, I'm not using it right now. But if there was an emergency and I needed something, that's what I got it there for. Or if you go camping, what if the distiller goes out? Then you use it, you know, temporarily until you get it fixed or whatever, you know, things of that nature. Helen Davis says, just made, let's see, we don't know Helen, we'll just pretend she's from the South. Just made a start. I can't even do an accent from the South. I'm from the South. I ordered some ionic D3 and boron. Now got to get the rest. You go, girl. Those are good. Now I got to learn how to make hydrogen water. Oh, that's easy. I got plenty of videos on that one. The Japanese made it easy for us. That's the truth, actually. They made it so easy to make good, clean, safe, proper levels, you know, lab tested, certified. It does both hydrogen gas and hydrogen water. I mean, it does it all, and it's easy. It's one button. So you guys know the drill, I think. Okay, Terry C says, would be so nice. Japanese springs sounds so good. Oh, believe me, I am surrounding my life, like literally, I don't own, I got rid of everything that I own. I didn't even own that much anyway, to be honest. But I did that because I'm leaving and I don't want to leave anything behind. It weighs me down. I'm gonna go to a mountainous area. Anyway, it doesn't matter where I'm going, I guess, but I'll show you guys probably in the future when I'm in Japan, Nippon. Okay, Helen, and it's not like I couldn't do this probably in America, but there's a few differences, and there are some things that I just want to do. Anyway, Helen says, I think structured water is going to repair our inactive DNA. Structured water. It's a little bit of a vague term. I'm aware of structured water. I've seen the data. It's most likely better used for agriculturally more than anything. But unless new technology comes out about it, because I don't think it'll fix your DNA. Structured hydrogen might though. In fact, that's the newest thing. There's not even any data yet. But we do know that when you structure something, it does make a difference. And the new Hydrofixes, they're the only company in the world, the only hydrogen company, the only hydrogen device that structures the hydrogen. It's absolutely insane. I don't know how they figured that one out. My understanding is that it might have been an accident, but I really don't know. I'd have to ask the company. Sonji Palmer says, is there any coupon codes for the Lourdes? If so, how much? You know, one of the coupon codes is just the name of my channel, Uprising144K, but you can try. I don't know if it's still working. It was a code that was out there. Capital H like hydrogen, 200, and that gives you a bigger discount. You can try that one. Truth Riser says, okay. Helen Davis says, from South Wales. Ha ha. That's funny. That's funny, Helen. You're funny. You're funny. Do something funny. I used to have this funny friend, and we'd go hang out with people, and you know, we're just hanging out. I'm like, dude, my friend's so funny, and there's like all these people, and I guess I really embarrassed him one time. I said, dude, say something funny. He was like, dude, come on, just put me on the spot. Then he ended up not saying something funny. It was just funny now, but it wasn't then. He looked like a dummy. Sorry, brother. All right, Cecilia Winter says, thank you, Greg. Yes, I am planning on purchasing a distiller soon. You go, girl. Get that clean water. Jazz Banana. Oh, that's an interesting name. Jazz Banana says, such a pain buying the ionic supplements in Canada. Oh, is it? It's too bad. Check Amazon. I don't know what to say about that. My mama always said ionic minerals are hard to find. Terry C, don't blame you, Greg. Not sure what you blamed me for or didn't blame me for leaving. Maybe that. Alice says, haha, your voice impersonations. Yeah, they're not very good, are they? I try. Truth Riser says, I'll send you, brother. No, I'll email you, brother. Grateful for your willingness to make the earth a healthier place. Well, thank you. Mighty kind of you. And with that, maybe I'll explain to you why I'm inhaling hydrogen here in a second. I'm almost done with this. So good. So good. Terry C says, Greg, I heard you say to get the equipment for your whole protocol costs around $7,000. Could you tell me what's included in that? Sure. Sonji Palmer says, do you trust the used Lourdes machines on eBay? No, don't do it, Sonji. Unless you want to just, no, don't do it. I've had way too many emails about it. People who bought them, they have issues with them. They get no customer service. A lot of times they don't even allow them to return. There's something in the fine print. A lot of them are fake. So a lot of you guys probably don't know that in Asia, the Lourdes Hydrofix is like the #1 machine. Everybody, that's what they want. They know that it's the best. And in China, apparently, this is what I've been learning, the Chinese are crazy over Japanese stuff. They know that Chinese stuff is, dare I say, crap for the most part. And in hydrogen, they all know that the Hydrofix is the best, and they've gone as far as making fake copies. So, well, at least that's what it appears, because I've seen some weird stuff. So you want to get it from somewhere that's truly authentic, and you really, in my opinion, want the premium. If you're going to go with there is a difference between the premium and non-premium. The premium is designed for international, no big deal, you know. But if you're trying to get something like a hydrogen generator where you're gonna need, let me tell you right now, you're gonna need customer service probably at some point, or you know, you're gonna want some type of support, somebody who knows their product because it's an official company, they know all about it, and you get a warranty. The other ones have all this fine print, and you don't get warranty if you don't get the international model and it's used outside the US, and then if it breaks. I've known a lot of people who've just lost money on those, and felt really bad. So that's why I made the videos. I'm like, didn't want people getting screwed anymore on that. Delicious. Okay, Terry C says she wants to know what the $7,000 entail. So in my opinion, you don't have to get all this stuff, but one, carbon distiller. You need clean water when it comes to your health. Hydrogen generator. a really good blender, which, I mean, you guys are literally seeing all of it here as I'm doing this video. I already showed you my distiller. I mean, here, there's my carbon distiller. Here's my hydrogen generator. And well, you saw my blender a little bit ago. And that's if you want to get high quality stuff. Can you go get cheap stuff? You could. Is it going to be the same? In my opinion, not only will it not be the same, I think it'll cost you more in the end, because a lot of these products can be unreliable, especially hydrogen machines. The one from Japan has actually been, I didn't choose it for its reliability. I chose it for the best water, the best hydrogen gas, and that it's clean, safe, proper levels, all the stuff. But what I didn't realize on top of it all is they made it extremely reliable. They did all this like stress tests and bulletproof tests to really make sure that it's extremely reliable. And it really has been. I've had no issues, and I had all sorts of issues with other hydrogen machines in the past. They tend to last about a year or two. Some companies even try to offer like, oh, we'll give you a lifetime warranty. And I've seen that before. Companies either go out of business or disappear, or the product just keeps breaking and you have to ship it in all the time or every year. It's kind of a pain in the rear. I'd rather just get something of high quality. That was the way that I looked at it. My blender has been fantastic. I have a Vitamix and it's just been nothing but reliable. You guys see how I stuff all those fruits and vegetables and almost like I'm trying to destroy it. And it's just so beautiful. I love that thing. And my distillers, these are American made, higher quality metals. And that's, again, they're very reliable too. So I picked the high quality stuff. Those three things. The other things that you spend your money on primarily are, I can't say the names of them, and please don't type them in, but certain things that you're gonna need, like for example, the Purium powder for your nutrition, the ionic minerals, some potentially, depending on your condition or what you wanna do, dewormers. The rest of the money gets spent on, you can get an ozone generator. If you get an ozone machine, I guess you could contact me, because they're not all the same, even though there's multiple good ones out there. So it's not like hydrogen. Hydrogen does not have a lot of good choices. Ozone machines, there are multiple ones that are good, but there's a lot of them that are still not good. So that would be another one if you want to choose to do the ozone route. Depends on what you're dealing with. What else do you have to spend some money on? I think that's the majority of what you need. It might be less than 7,000, but you know, little things come up. But you have to continue to spend more money on organic food, buy the right foods, you know. But those are the main things. So hopefully that answers your question, Terry C. And Jazz Banana, Mr. JB. I don't know if it's a boy or girl. Jazz, I don't know. It sounds like a boy, Jazz. Other than using ozone as mouthwash, are there any other use cases you'd recommend? Are there any other use cases you'd recommend? Use cases. I'm going to assume that you're asking, are there any other uses for ozone? There's a ton of uses for ozone. I mean, people, you can drink ozone water. I let somebody borrow my equipment, but if I ever felt like a tickle in my throat or something, though I could just gargle with povidone iodine, but then I would just drink some ozone. It does kind of aggravate my stomach a little bit, because oxygen is a much bigger molecule and it kind of feels like gassy almost. But I would do that sometimes. You can drink ozone water. You can actually inhale ozone, but make sure, please do it properly, because if you do it wrong, it's actually not good for you. It can burn you. So you got to know what you're doing. What else can you do? I mean, you can do what's called rectal or vaginal encephalization with ozone, depending on the medical issues you're dealing with. And that's about it, because you can do IV ozone, but not on your own. You're not going to want to do that. Delicious. Terry C says, thanks for explaining again, Greg. I'm dealing with heart failure and kidney failure. Yikes. Well, Terry, I would, depending on exactly what's causing it, I've had success with both of those. The heart disease was mine and others that I totally was able to fix it, which is totally crazy. But that's not a claim, by the way. That was just me. That was my life. I did it, and it worked for me. As far as kidneys, I do have kidney protocols. One of my brothers had kidney failure, and he was this close to getting on dialysis, and I didn't even know. He called me out of the blue because, you know, sometimes family doesn't want to ask you. And he said, hey, do you think there's a chance for me? And I was like, yeah, dude, you should have called me a long time ago. I mean, immediately, carbon distiller, blender, hydrogen generator. Those were the main three main things. And he did not want to spend that money, but he did. And then he got on my protocol, dietary and full into hydrogen, all the different things. And his doctor told him you can't reverse kidney disease. And what happened? He started reversing his kidney disease. They really started moving the needle. And by talking, the doctor saw him the next time. He's like, whoa, you're not even close to being on dialysis anymore, and you're doing really good. I don't know what to say, just keep it up. And it's like, keep it up, you dummy. Didn't even know what to do. Let me just tell you though, if you want a protocol for your kidneys, because you're limited on the amount of water you can drink, you're gonna wanna do a lot more inhalation. In my opinion, this is not medical advice, but a lot of inhalation, but you really need to modify the foods that you're eating and how you eat them. Definitely no meat. Definitely, like we're talking no pork, no chicken, no beef, no meat at all when you have kidney problems. No eggs at all when you have kidney problems. Definitely no dairy when you have kidney problems. Definitely no seafood when you have kidney problems. You need the absolute cleanest water when you have kidney problems. I got a very interesting story, and so many years, I don't know how it happened. All these years to where it reached the point where I created these protocols. I was looking for a distiller one time, and it was the weirdest story, but anyway, I came across, this was back in the day when I got my first like used one, and I didn't really understand them all. Or anyway, I went to this guy's house, and I was pretty excited about getting it. He didn't care about it, and I was thinking, boy, he doesn't care about clean water. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. He doesn't seem to care. I didn't want to ask too many questions. I just wanted to buy it. And this story is so interesting, but let me grab this, but you're gonna want to hear this. It's so fascinating, this story. Grab a little more. All right, so I'm trying to get this thing from the guy, buy it and everything, put it in my vehicle, and then I have a question. And then I'm like, hey, out of curiosity, like, why are you selling this thing? Like, I didn't want to tell him what he had because he clearly didn't know, and I really wanted it at the time, and I was looking for one, and it was actually a really, really fancy one. And I said, so what's the deal? Like, why do you have this in your possession, and why do you want to get rid of it? He said, my father died, and I'm just getting rid of a lot of his stuff. And I said, okay, so he had this distiller. He said, yeah, let me just I'll make a little voice for this guy. He's like, yeah, my dad had this distiller, and I don't know why, but my father had kidney problems. I'm like, yeah. And for some reason, if he drank water, he'd get sick. And I was like, okay, because he's had kidney problems. He goes, but for whatever reason, when it came out of that machine, he could drink the water. I don't know why. And then I was thinking, oh boy, he doesn't realize it's because the water's so flippin' clean. His father's kidneys could not take any water, no water filter, no nothing, guys. This was a huge eye-opener, like light bulb turning on for me. And this was many, 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 many years ago. Thanks for all the thumbs up, by the way. I realized then, that was one of my realizations, and I've had a lot of these to create all my protocols, how important it was to clean the water, and the distillation was with carbon were the only ways to, and then of course now I have lab tests and all this stuff I can show you guys that just proves the point. I mean, here is I won't show you everything, but it's a third-party lab testing. It basically just proves all the stuff it takes out of the water. And you know what? I knew that it was amazing. I already knew. I didn't need proof. But the one thing I did not know was about radioactive waste. That distillation removes radioactive contaminants. Guys, this is huge. You know, and I know some people, I know they either can't afford it or they don't want to, whatever it is. I know so many, I know people with so much money, no joke. I personally know people with so much money who will not break down and buy a distiller. It's hilarious to me. I'm like, you can easily afford it and you don't realize it. Unbelievable. A lot of people like that. But anyway, point is, In my opinion, if you have kidney issues, super clean water, but when you add the hydrogen to it, oh, just takes it to a whole other level. I mean, clean water with the cleanest hydrogen made properly is just nothing but magic. Nothing but magic. Anyway, I don't know if that answers anybody's questions. Let's see. Jennifer says, Sonji, I was wondering the same thing. Another thing I think that I was looking at, and don't quote me on this, I think most of them only do the water and not the inhalation. And that is correct when it comes to, you're probably talking about hydrogen machines. You really, I haven't found one that does them both at a high level. It'll do one and then it won't do the other that well, and then I'll do one other one and won't, and none of them are lab tested either, which is important because I've seen some of them lab tested and they're not putting out the hydrogen they claim. It's such a big problem. Anyway, Jennifer says, also, please correct me on this if I am wrong, but I believe the water does one thing and the inhalation does another one. However, I'm very new to this. Yes, they both have different benefits as far as water and inhalation, but they also have same benefits. So they both do the same thing and they also do their individual things. But with my protocols, when you use them together, so you drink the hydrogen water first, which I did in the morning, now I'm inhaling, they synergistically create even more things than neither one of them did individually, which is pretty amazing. And that was my protocol, which I personally thought was stolen from me because after I released it on the internet, mysteriously, they went and did a scientific study on it about 2 or 3 months later. And in all these years, and nobody ever thought of doing it. But whatever. I come up with a lot of stuff like that. And I'm just gonna have to expect that it's gonna get stolen from me throughout the years if I continue to release it. But I want to release it for you guys because I want humans to be able to get better. I don't want to see people suffer anymore. And I don't think I can end suffering. I probably won't even end that many people suffering, but I just don't like it. I don't like when people suffer. It's kind of tricky to navigate this world. You know, when you're like non-GMO, all organic, blah, blah, blah. It's like, what do all these terms mean? But anyway, thanks for all the thumbs up. Wow. All right, guys, let's see here. I'm almost done. I got to get rolling soon. I got an appointment for work. Helen Davies says, where do we find your protocols, Greg? Well, that's the thing. I have many different protocols for different things. They are nowhere. People wanted me to open up a website. It'd just be, I don't know. I guess I could, but it'd be a lot of work. And look, I'm still have to go do my work. People usually call me. We can set up appointments, stuff like that. I mean, watch video 337. That gives you an idea. You can also watch video 388. You can also watch video 396. These smoothies and my hydrogen protocols are a huge part of them. You know, of course I have more details beyond that, but that right there is going to give you a lot of information about how I do what I do. Okay, nice and full. Okay. Terry C says, amazing. Not getting my hopes up, but it's worth a try. I have a kidney transplant. Oh boy. I'm a vegetarian, can drink as much water as I like, seeing as my transplant's doing well. Well, Terry, I hope you have hydrogen, because hydrogen's, you should see the data on transplants. It's really amazing. And I would get the cleanest water. And I mean, you can contact me also, but you can watch my video 337 to learn more about how to use that hydrogen if you have it. Terry C says, wow, Greg, I need to be getting myself some clean water, and I'm saving for my machine right now. Thanks for finding you. I've got some hope back. Well, Terry, you can contact me again. I'll see what I can do to help you in any way, especially since you're saving. That's tough. Karina says, Greg, quick question. I want to start with making the smoothies, but I only have a Berkey. Should I wait until I have a distiller and hydrogen machine? Of course not. You can start making smoothies right away. You don't need to be waiting for that. You can use your Berkey water. It may not be the best, but it's what you got. Go buy some organic vegetables. If that's all you can get, that's what you do. Do the best you can with what you got. That's just the way it is until you get all that other stuff. Helen Davies says, thanks, Greg. All right, guys. So I'm going to guess we're good now. I never did go into why I was inhaling hydrogen while I drink the smoothie, but simple answer is, one, if there are oxalates in here, which there are from certain foods, hydrogen appears to protect you from oxalate damage, which is a good thing. Also, hydrogen appears to, I actually seen how it opens up the ghost vein, so I can, while I'm inhaling, I'm getting my blood into these areas while I'm bringing in all these nutrients. So in my opinion, I'm getting better nutrient absorption, and that's also good. And when you eat, you know, a lot of people don't realize that eating is actually kind of hard on the body. One of the reasons I like to puree it and use easy to digest foods. So better nutrient absorption, but also this has many antioxidants. Hydrogen functions as an antioxidant, along with all the antioxidants in here. So it just helps with any free radical damage that may be happening even while I'm eating. So there's multiple reasons why I do it. Terry C says, thanks Greg, have a good day. RV Flyer says, freezing my smoothies to keep my cooler cold while traveling. There you go. Don't know about freezing fruits and vegetables though, but will the hydrogen stay in the smoothie more this way? Yeah, it will. The colder hydrogen is, the longer it stays, whether it's in water or like ice cubes or whatever. The colder it is, the longer the hydrogen lasts. The hotter it is, it escapes faster. If you dissolve hydrogen into really hot water, it's all gone in 20 minutes. Maybe 10, but I believe 20, if you make it really stable. If it's room temperature water, around 68 degrees, it takes 1 hour. So it just depends on, you can call it math, but in science, but I try to keep it as simple as we possibly can around here. Alrighty, Hydrogen Group. Any other questions before I say ta-ta? Because I gotta go. Earthman, love the name. Good to know. Colder the water, hydrogen lasts longer. Thank you for your super info. Yeah, brother, the vibration of the molecule changes with temperature. That's what actually, you know, distillation is. That's why when the sun, which is primarily made of hydrogen, hits the ocean and it gets hot, the molecules vibrate at a different rate due to the temperature, and they they rise up, they ascension. From the heat, purification through fire. It's the fire. Okay, Dave, Tanzania. Wow, I've never heard that name before. Does hydrogen water help with lowering blood pressure? In my opinion, well, let me tell you this. My father dealt with blood pressure, cholesterol issues, arthritis, glaucoma, and diabetes. All those are gone. So I think just clean water, clean hydrogen, maybe go for a few walks, eliminate some foods which may not be good for you. I think it's easy to solve the blood pressure issue. If you're on medicine for it and you start using hydrogen, please make sure to monitor. This is not medical advice, just monitor your blood pressure, because hydrogen works so good at both potentially getting to the core of the problem, but also enhancing, because you get greater absorption. That's why I'm absorbing these nutrients. And those pills that you might take might be working too good, and your blood pressure could drop too low. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. So it happens all the time. But in the end, my opinion is that yes, you're gonna get great benefit from that. RV Flyer says, adding ice to drink it cold is fine then. Absolutely. In fact, that's why I make my own hydrogen ice cubes if you haven't seen that video. You get really, really clean water. You dissolve hydrogen in it, immediately pour it into one of those ice cube trays and put it in the fridge or the freezer, and put a top on it if possible. And yeah. Dave Tanzania says, wow, thanks. RV Flyer says, 10 days so far, and my diastolic numbers are 5 lower consistency. See, this person's already having benefits, Dave. And I've seen it a million times. Still taking blood pressure medicine, going to go off when I can. That's right. And that's a smart way to do it. You don't want to just drop off the medicine because you maybe have a stroke or something. Keep using the hydrogen and follow the proper protocols. And if you can eliminate, you know, deep fried food and, you know, too much of certain things, like, you know, you probably don't want to have eggs and bacon for breakfast, a sausage McMuffin for lunch, and a steak for dinner. It's just too much for the body. I don't know. Maybe have a smoothie, something like that. I mean, technically, you know, I shouldn't even bring this up. I'll just say that somebody in my position, I know a lot of people who are in my, I don't know, age group, whatever you can call it. I mean, a lot of them are on statins, blood pressure medicine, diabetes medicine. I mean, I got a lot of friends and they have all sorts of stuff like that. It's very common. I think, I can't remember the numbers, but it's unusual if you cannot be on pharmaceuticals these days. With that being said, any last questions before I say goodbye? Because I'm gonna get rolling here. Gotta get to work. Okay, no more questions then. All right, guys, I will send you off with, Nicole says bye. I'm gonna send you off with some hydrogen bubbles. How's that? Hydrogen bubbles. Goodbye, everybody. All right, I'll see you guys next time on the next one. Oh, Truth Rider says, gratitude, brother. Oh, thank you. Very kind. Thank you for all your kindness, guys. Thanks for all the thumbs up. Thanks for all the support. Until next time, says Truth Riser. Until next time, guys. I'm trying to do these in the mornings to show you guys how it's done, or at least how I do it. All right, guys. Till next time.